Hey guys, Kargath here again. Just wanted to talk real quick about the E100, some of the great things about it, some of the watch outs for. Obviously top of the tree right now, so you pick it up while it's nice and cheap. So we got a lovely 6 crew tank here. Obviously for all your crew skills, kind of the basics of heavy tanks kind of apply. Brothers in Arms is always a must, as in all tanks you need to have that sixth sense just to know you're when you're spotted. When it comes to the other crew skills, because there's a six, it's not as pressured. You can pick up the recon and the repairs on your commander. You can get that snapshot, smooth ride on your gunner and your driver there to have that better accuracy. And you're lucky enough to have a radio operator, so you can get that situational awareness. Then, of course, two loaders, so you can pick up your adrenaline rush and your safe stowage safely, and you're still working on all the repairs on all your crew members, making sure that those repairs come up just that much faster. Now this tank kind of has an interesting option between two guns. First of all, it's got the baby gun here, which is the starting gun, and then the much larger gun. Now the nice part about the baby gun here is it has better dispersion, better aim time, and significantly better DPM. Not to mention there is a difference in ammo, where 530, 530, 750, 750, and the big gun does fire heat. But this lower DPM maybe not always worth it. I like to use the small gun here just because, well, quite frankly, that extra DPM is so nice. But if you want to use this big gun here to really ward people off, not to mention you have the 334 heat, go for it. Now, when it comes to equipment, pretty much it comes down to you're going to want to have rammer, and V-stabs are improved rotation mechanism for these two. But when it comes to this first slot, you got some choices. You can go modified config to protect your modules. You can go into the improved hardening if you really want that extra health, brings you up to just shy of 3,000 health, which is fantastic. Or if you're really feeling like you're taking a lot of arty heat right now, you can obviously do the spar liner here, making it so that those HE shells basically do nothing, really protecting you from the stun. But most of the time in competitive play, we aren't bringing these tanks into open maps, so I would highly recommend the modified config or the improved hardening if we're doing advances. Now, when it comes to the consumables, pretty much the obvious. Repair kit, first aid kit, you can run food. If you don't feel like you want to run food, just run the automatic extinguisher. It's fantastic. Now, when it comes to this tank's armor, here we are back on Tanks GG. There's something kind of important to remember about the E100. There is this tiny bar here on the top, which is technically polar, which you can shoot. But since you're almost always shorter than the E100, that bar becomes very, very small, almost always making that an incredibly difficult shot. So really at the end of the day, this lower plate is pretty much going to be your best shot, no matter if it's angled this way, you're shooting from below, even if you're shooting from slightly above. That lower plate is always your best shot. Green is your friend on the models. But something to remember about the lower plate is there's this small band right at the lip between the upper and lower plate that's a little bit harder and a little bit better angled, so this is much more difficult to hit. So hitting this juicy part is always what you want to do. Now, if you are an E100 and you can protect your lower plate, one thing to remember is they're going to try to shoot heat, gold ammo, all here at your cheeks, which they only have about a 40 to 50% chance to pen, depending on which tank it is. However, if you can protect that lower plate and if you can turn your turret, look at that. You turn your turret a bit, all of a sudden becomes essentially impenetrable. Right here, no hit. Right here, auto ricochet, 0% chance. All they have is this small band right here, which might even be slightly protected if you're angling more, making that incredibly difficult to hit. Right here, much lower likely to hit. So if you just turn that turret, protect that lower plate, it makes the E100 an absolute beast as far as its armor penetration. So just remember that. Turn that turret. Many of you I've seen do this, but just always remember you can do that. Really get the angle there, making it essentially an auto ricochet. Really, the E100's juiciest part is that underbelly. Thanks. This is Kargath again. Good luck, guys.